Valentine's Day, a day of love, started in my house like any other, with a lot of chaos. We were making sure the kids got off to school, and all of you parents probably are saying, yeah, that sounds like my house. And as usual, they were running late. My dogs were barking, and they needed attention. My wife and I needed to get ourselves ready for work. That's what I remember about that day. It's what I can't remember that is still haunting me to this very moment. And this is the part of the speech that I still struggle with. I can't remember if I told my daughter that morning that I loved her as she ran out the door to leave for school. I can't remember if the very last moment that I saw my daughter, if I said, I love you. My kids left for school that day like any other, and only one of them would make it home. My daughter Jamie was murdered, or as some in the pro-gun community like to say, these guns are used for hunting. My daughter was hunted at school. My daughter was the toughest person I know. She fought for her life until the very last second, running down the hall from an active shooter until, boom! A single shot to her back severed her spinal cord. On Valentine's Day, the last day I saw my daughter alive, I can't remember if I told her that I loved her in the morning. My family's forever changed. I'm no longer just a dad to Jesse and Jamie. My wife, who is intensely private, not only lost her baby girl, but it happened in a way that was horrific in public. In life, I always used to tell my wife and my kids that as long as I wake up in the morning and those I love and care about are safe and healthy, and we go to sleep at night, and everyone is still safe and healthy, that it's a good day. Everything else in between is just a bunch of stuff that we have to get through, that we have to manage. Unfortunately, we've been having some bad days. Jesse, who is my son, and my wife Jen, and I will have to go on without Jamie in our house. Our family and friends who lived for her voice and her spirit will not feel it ever again. It's going to be different. Her humor, her craziness, her energy, and her feistiness will be missed. My baby girl was the energy in our house. She was the energy in every room that she ever went into. And our new normal is going to be a lot quieter. I will miss the sounds of her laughter and what she used to call her dog talk, don't ask. Her unbelievable ability to never stop talking and how quickly she would say things because of how much she had to say. They were the sounds that gave our life meaning and our house its energy. Jamie lived life. She was the energy in the room, and she always made her presence known. Jamie was also a competitive dancer. It was her passion. 2 weekends ago was the first competition of the season. Always an event in our home and something that we all looked forward to. Rather than being a competition weekend with Jamie, my wife and I went to visit her at a cemetery. The day after this murder, I attended a vigil in Parkland. I was asked if I wanted to speak, and I said yes. I had not prepared, but I ended up having a lot to say. It was the beginning of my public life. My life is now forever changed, and my public role continues to evolve. I've dedicated the rest of my life to fighting for the cause of gun safety. I'm not going to stop. No other parent. Just looking at all of you parents here, no other parent should ever go through what my family and 16 other families from Parkland are now going through. What is unfathomable is how this is not unique to us. This has become something that was becoming way too common. This time, the gun rights crowd messed with the wrong community, the wrong kids, and the wrong dad. My kids, they were everything to me, and I intend to be a part of breaking the gun lobby. There are simply too many shootings and too many losses of life for us as a civilized society. Over my crash course this past couple of weeks, I used to be just a dad. A couple of things have become clear to me. The gun lobby simply has too much influence over lawmakers regarding decisions on our safety. The gun lobby uses the language of mental health and the language of paranoia to incite and scare people into the belief that they need to have guns, and any attempt to put normal limits on that, as we would with anything else, is the start of a government overreach that must be prevented. As these kids from Parkland who I have fallen in love with say, I call BS on that. I have quickly come to realize that most legislators are not leaders. They follow the mob and the money. It is clear to me that even though we elect our lawmakers with the expectation that they will be strong leaders, most of them are followers. The gun lobby talks about the Second Amendment. I happen to believe in the Second Amendment, just not the bastardized version presented by the gun lobby and expressed by the lawmakers who follow it. Unfortunately, this bastardized version has led to these weapons of war, being widely available, and as a result, my daughter has been murdered. She had rights as well, including a right to life, a right to be a believer in the Second Amendment, and all of her rights have now been terminated. We cannot allow a gun lobby who truly believes in no limits to control the decisions of lawmakers, as no other person should be afraid of getting shot for simply being in school or some other public place. Because our lawmakers will not do the right thing out of fear of the gun lobby, we need to break the lobby. How can we do So how do we do that? We pierce the aura of strength and we take away their money. In Florida, even after this mass murder, too many legislators were opposed to any real gun legislation, and they were bowing to the gun lobby wish. However, I'm pleased to announce that this afternoon, in Florida, a state that this never would have happened in before, the minimal effort, but yes, gun reform legislation did pass. The only reason that the gun lobby would be opposed to the most minimal effort that was proposed in Florida is because it pierces the aura of strength that they have. Once legislators start approving gun lobby legislation, they will see this as a loss and know that other losses will follow. The most significant hits to the gun lobby, though, are being driven by corporate America, and they are being heroic. Absolutely, corporate America. They are doing two things, and they need to be rewarded for this, by the way. First, they are terminating direct business relationships with the gun lobby to end financial benefits to the members and weaken the lobby financially. Second, they are ending the retailing of weapons of war and simply not waiting on lawmakers to change the age to 21. They're doing it themselves. Mutual funds are also reevaluating their portfolios and may remove any businesses that has anything to do with the manufacture or sale of these weapons of war. Present company not included, shame on weak-kneed lawmakers who can't come to common sense measures as well. Corporate America will lead and show you can take on the lobby and not pay a price. Legislators will watch and eventually follow. In addition to changing the gun culture in this country, again, an effort being led by corporate America, but one that I predict legislators will follow, we need to get the NRA to open its books. We need to show America where they get their money and where it goes. People need to understand that the NRA effort is not done with the safety of Americans as its main concern, and most likely has a more concerning purpose. This will not be easy, and it will take time. I have an idea that ensures gun owners get to keep their weapons and does not infringe on their rights, but yet the NRA would be dead against it. Why don't we force every gun owner, in addition to background checks, we should have them register, license, and insure every gun that they buy, just as they would a car. insurance on these weapons of war would be so expensive they just wouldn't buy them. It would also help to make sure the process of owning a gun includes the same responsibility that you and I all take on with everything we do, whether it be drive a car, go to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription is more difficult than buying these guns. Tell me how that makes sense. Now, we know the lobby would be against these common sense efforts, and so would the legislators who support the lobby. This alone gets to the BS about it being a Second Amendment issue. As the kids from Parkland say, we need to call BS on that. Anyone in this room who has a legislator that will not vote for your safety, when you vote, you need to fire them.
Amen.
Finally, to the kids in this room, we love you. When you think we parents, yes we do, when you think we parents are overprotective and trying too hard to control where you go, who you go with, what you do, and when you do it, well, the truth is we are. And it is because we love you. We have a relentless need and desire to keep you guys safe, to keep you away from tragedy, and to make sure we get to hug you and kiss you when you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep at night. Hopefully, you will understand why we parents do what we do, and you'll say thank you to your parents tonight. To the parents, hug your children every chance you get and tell them you love them every chance you get. Could be the last time. Make sure you look at their face every chance you get when you say I love you and when you say goodbye. I can honestly tell you that I am not sure I did that the morning Jamie was taken from me, and it's killing me inside. Take every chance you get. Real quick, I noticed, and my heart is bursting, that I see all the orange ribbons. And I want to just tell everybody about the orange ribbon and what it means to me. My daughter was a competitive dancer. Her dance teammates, they were her sisters. Orange was her favorite color. And in her dance studio, they all started wearing this orange ribbon to honor my daughter. There was a very famous choreographer who's involved in all the Broadway shows and the TV shows who actually did a guest teaching at my daughter's studio, knew my daughter, and she posted it and it went viral. It ended up going around the country. Broadway shows started dedicating nights to my daughter and they all were wearing the ribbons. And it turns out, as I learned last week, orange also happens to be the universal color of gun safety. So I want to make this ribbon a symbol of gun safety. I want everybody to go and embrace this ribbon and wear it and show that you stand for common sense gun safety. You do not stand for the BS that is that is going through DC now, and that you want to see change. Thank you.